everybody, it's Carrie
and
Lucy. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And I've been wanting to share this with you guys for many years. What's it called?
The Legend of the Star.
This is the most important Christmas book that I've ever been given. Yes, not the Bible, but besides the Bible. And if you stick with us through the whole video, I promise it'll be worth it. This is a story that I want to share for everybody out there that's believing in a miracle. Maybe you haven't seen it yet. Maybe it doesn't look like you think it should, and you feel a little bit imperfect. This is a book that I want to share with you. And Ruby's going to read the first page.
Dedication. To everyone who knows of our things of themselves is as an perfect angel may you find your life's mission so that you can bless all of us living around you.
Okay, hope you enjoy the story. Yep. Children, the cherubim guardian said, clapping his hands. He motioned the winged youngsters to gather round. The time has been announced when our Jesus will make his entrance into the world, and each angel has been assigned a special task. All of heaven's cherubs twittered excitedly about having a role in his glorious arrival.
Will we sing, Guardian? Asked one of the little cherubs. He pulled out his chest and took a deep breath. He sang a perfectly sweet strain of Gloria in seamless harmony with the rest of the choral masters' gleeful choir. The cherub's guardian drew out his hands in a motion for the long choir to be silent. Yes, some of you will be singing. Others will be playing their trumpets, the guardian said, smiling at another little cherub. The cherub grinned back and quickly breathed in his horn, filling the cherubim mountain hall with its rich sound. He tenderly rubbed the horn with his elbow into his white tunic.
Jesus will be born in the loveliest of circumstances, surrounded by the Father's most humble creatures. Some of you will tame the animals. The guardian chuckled and glanced toward his unkept little cherubs. They would rather roll around in the heavenly fields. The seraphs will be spreading good cheer from here all the way to the earth before surrounding his manger. They will radiate his light to the highest order of angelhood. You want to read this part? Okay. Okay, I'll read this part. Okay, go ahead.
They will also be his guardians when Jesus fulfills his mission on earth.
He said, casting a look of sadness. Okay.
She said, using a look of sunniness before his saying, oh, but if it could only be different, she wiped his tear from his engaged little cheek before he began to go out and get again.
And many of you will also be here on the day of his joyful return. Trumps and angels will hail him through the hallows of halls of heaven. You, my dear little ones, will be there not only to see him, but also lift him up to his throne, his seat of rest. The guardian's eyes once again twinkled at the mere thought of seeing Jesus again.
The goodness guardians clapped his hands once more and hustled the cherubs off to prepare. That is when he noticed movement from the corner of his eye. It was he, the only little cherub in heaven, who was imperfect. Both in form and speech, it was beyond any of their understanding as to why it had been created that way. But as the ways of heaven's teaching, they drew their faith that there must be a plan.
guardian blushed in shame and the lack of his charity during the excitement. He should have had someone pick the little cherub up and assist him to the announcement hall. The guardian rushed to his side before the sweet little angel lost his balance. The guardian smiled. Sometimes this little one's spirit carried him more exuberantly than this form could manage. No doubt thoughts were formed more clearly behind those eyes than his mumbled speech could ever share. His steadfast spirit was an inspiration for the old guardian. He spent countless hours protecting the little broken angel from the taunting of the other hasty and vigorous youth. He scooped up the little cherub. His shuddering speech and jerky movements were emphasized by his excitement. He wanted to know what he could do to prepare for his Savior's birth.
The old guardians crinkled smile faded when he realized that this little cherub had not been
given an assignment. He reassured the little cherub that there must be a mistake. He would call right away, presenting Quorum's quarters, and ask about the oversight. He carried the little angel to another caregiver. He would look into the matter right away. But sir, his heart is pure, though his body isn't perfect. He isn't nimble, his speech is garbled. Is there nothing he can do? Must he watch from afar?
Cherubus guardian, I do not share the compassion for this little one. I assume that is the father's request that he stay behind. I am sorry, said the Cormus presenting angel.
On the day of Jesus' birth, all the cherubs, angels, and guardians rallied themselves for their assignments. The hustle and bustle of ending an event. Anxiously, the little cherub looked around. He finally sat down in the middle of the great hall and cried, giving in to the frustration of being imperfect in a perfect world. He knew that there was no way he should have expected an important role in this special day. The guardian distracted the cherubs on preparing for the glorious day, and after he'd gotten them off to their stations, he noticed the broken little cherub, his glistening tears on his cheeks, and the turmoil of dealing with the little angel situation and not knowing what to do. The guardian had finally pushed it to the back of his mind. He walked over to him and picked him up.
My little one, do not be discouraged. I am sure the Father has a good reason for you to stay behind. He offered even though he wondered what that would be. He placed the little cherub on his lap and watched the grand event from the grand hall steps. However, he noticed that something was wrong. All was dark and quiet. There was neither joyous strains of hallelujah or resounding nor any light or to bear good tidings. As the cherub's guardian thoughts nervously swirled, the broken little cherub's warm tears flowed down from his cheeks. When they hit the floor of the great hall, they were miraculously transformed into an illuminated path. It roamed out of the window into the great hall and fell on a pillar of light to rest upon the Holy Child lying in the manger.
With giant tender droplets still falling from his eyes, the broken little cherub left the secure arms of the cherub's guardian. He hobbled to the path of light. With faith, he roamed out of the great hall and he stumbled out of the heavens. And as he did, beneath his feet appeared a brilliant stepping stone which carefully carried the little angel. Amongst the music of hallowed harps, voices of the joyful chorus, and the sound of jubilant triumphs, the little angel raised his humble voice and sang splendid praises to the newborn babe.
The cherub's guardian and all the others standing in the heavens, witnesses watched in awe. With each minute closer to the baby Jesus, the little cherub's deformities were healed. He became flawless in the Lord's sight. His voice grew stronger, clearer, and more heavenly than they had ever heard before. A perfect knowledge settled in finally, and the old wise guardian understood the most important lesson any of them ever needed to learn. It was for that reason that Jesus had been born, so they know who are broken and troubled, and yet choose to walk towards him in faith, can also be perfected, just as the little cherub had been.
And the end.
So this is what the broken angel looked like when he got down from the heavens and he came to see Jesus. And this book reminds us all at this time of year that God has a plan for everybody. And you may seem imperfect, and your situation may seem like it's not what it's supposed to be. But because of Jesus, because of what he did, there's always hope. So Merry Christmas from my angels to you. What do you say?
I would say Merry Christmas.